Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Xenoblade Chronicles. Last time, we finished up pretty much everything there was to do at Aerith Sea, and we came back to Makna Forest on this pod with Alvis, so that we may go to our next destination, Valak Mountain, as you can see off in the distance. This time, I think we're gonna go, well, away from Valak Mountain, because upon completing Prison Island, several things have changed. I don't just mean in terms of the story and characters, I also mean in terms of the world. We really should go tackle them because they are infinitely worth our time. This is where quest rewards and gaining affinity with areas are really gonna start paying off. The rewards you get for these kinds of things are absolutely huge, and those of you that didn't believe me that I said quests were important before, hoo boy, I hope I make you eat your words, I don't know. But we have some Nopon researchers right over here, and we can see over there is the area that we were in Makna Forest earlier. I came to study ruins, but I know can get back to village. Lupa's gonna be angry at me. Well, okay, so there's a Lupa in Frontier Village, I presume. And if you look at this, we have a broken bridge. That does not look like it stretches halfway across the lake, and neither does that. So we would need to get new pieces of the bridge in order to go back across. Let's see what this Nopon researcher has to say. Dunban's just kind of staring majestically off into the distance while we're talking. Don't just look, help! Bridge broken, it's so inconvenient! How worrying. We cannot afford to simply ignore this problem. I know what to do. If we no fix bridge, it's big problem for Nopon to get back to village. It is inconvenient. If the High Ansia hadn't brought us, we couldn't have got here. What a pain. Yeah, it's horrible, but it's fate that you here. You might be right, but what do you want us to do? Well, we need to grab materials to fix this bridge. We need Hode planks and Rogel axe crests. About those items. If you look down at the bottom, you can see that those items are found, at least the Hode planks are, in areas of Makna Forest. You know what areas of Makna Forest they're talking about? Why? Not this side of the bridge, no. So we gotta skip travel over to another area, and skip travel is not teleportation, meaning that our party members are jumping off of this cliff right here, where the broken bridge is, swimming upstream all this way, climbing back up here, and then walking all throughout the forest to get all the way over here just to help a couple of Nopon get back to the village. We are such good people! Okay, in all seriousness, let's go around and get these items, because if we do this, it will actually have an effect on Makna Forest itself. So, let's go south of the Windmill Pavilion and find where there are some Hodes. Which is exactly why I skipped travel to the Glomas Tri-Engine, not the Windmill Pavilion. It took me a few minutes to realize I was in the wrong area. Okay, we got all 5 Hode planks from those Hodes. Yeah, apparently there were only 5 planks missing from that bridge. Apparently the 5 thickest planks fell into the river below, because that's all I can think of. Now, over by where you find all these Hodes, I wish I could say that you could hunt those Arluga for the Arluga grass skirts that we need to get for that one material quest, but I actually don't think these ones drop them. I know it's really strange that some Arlugas would drop them and others would not, but I really don't think they do. What I did want to point out, however, is that around this area, I think we've been here before, but we never... Good. Oh, and of course, what I was talking about, I needed to walk like a whole 2 steps further than we did last time we were around this area. Yeah, you can discover the Abyss Basin for some easy experience. I'm showing this other enemy's location because it can be a little tough to find, even with the descriptions that I'm giving. You go to the glowing obelisk, you want to head to the west a little bit, and then flying above this water over here is where you're going to find the enemy. I believe that only one spawns in this area, so you're going to need to skip travel a lot, but you're right near a skip travel point anyway, so I guess it all works out. Let's have Charlotte take this out with a critical hit. That didn't do very much damage at all. Why am I not surprised?
But we mustn't be careless.
But we cannot be reckless.
But we mustn't be redundant. Well, with all those items in hand, we are back here to the Nopon researcher. Wow, you collected all so quick. At least they didn't complain at us for taking too long, like some people we've done some quests for up to this point. Not naming any names, but just saying. Apparently, with those 5 planks, we're able to do all that for that bridge. And I don't know what those axe crests were going to do. That certainly isn't rope, I don't think. But, I don't know. What do I know about building Noponian bridges? Noponian? I don't know. Well, Ricky helped out. Yes, now, life better for you and Nopon back in village. I fixed bridge, but you the ones who got materials. And he goes and runs off. So yes, we have created a bridge. We've completed bridge repair. We get a John Nibbler for Ricky. Sounds like a make-out technique. Did I really just say that? We got quite the level, or quite the experience there. But what I'd like to show is with this bridge now built, we can walk onto it. And we discovered our own location that we ourselves built. Sounds like cheating to get experience, quite frankly. It's just like giving every area a name and getting experience from discovering it. I gotta say, though, I really have to praise this viewer. I've always wanted to visit a location like this where you have, like, 2 cliff sides just connected by all these rope bridges, like in a jungle somewhere, and it's like a waterfall. You can see that far below you. I'd probably be a little bit afraid, though, but I'd probably be just so caught up in the majestic view I wouldn't even be able to care. Especially in this game's world, knowing that you can actually go to all those locations, and trust me, later we will be doing that. But for the time being, we were told that there is a Nopon back in Frontier Village named Lupa, and these Nopon researchers were working with Lupa to discover some ruins of some sorts. I want you to remember that for later, because Lupa has something important for us, but I don't want to knock it out quite yet, because believe it or not, we're actually kind of under-leveled to deal with that. So, yeah, me being under-leveled for something, how could you believe it? And when I say under-leveled, I mean like really under-leveled, as in it's really challenging. So instead, how about we begin our trek around the Bionis by going back to where all this began? Colony 9. So, the first line of quest that we're going to be tackling in Colony 9, I think, requires a little bit of explanation. There's a mega important quest that we can do that has an amazing reward, but you need 4.5 stars with Colony 9, and even though you can't see half stars and things like that on the screen, we don't quite have that much affinity with the area yet, so we're going to be tackling a less important one first, just to give us that last little boost of affinity we need. As such, we're going to talk to Rocco, who is a lot smaller than a hippo, I'll tell you that. Let's talk with him. You like solving problems, don't you? Well, I got a whopper. Well, you're definitely talking to the right guy. Shulk is definitely a nerd. He's a problem solver, and yeah. Now Mom Super Anger keeps making horrible mush for dinner, all because you broke her pendant. That doesn't sound good. Sounds like something Ryan would say when it comes to food, or even Ricky. If I don't eat some real food fast, my tongue's gonna fall off. I've tried to find someone who can fix my mom's pendant, but no one in the residential district can do it. I can't walk very far on my own, so you can find someone instead? I think Dean should be able to help. He works with Shulk, you are like master of like repairing things. What is... Okay, fine. At least he's not like, you know, taking credit for things. We have Rocco's heartfelt request. We have tinted glasses and a pretty bangle for this. Kind of low rewards, to be honest. You are meant to do this quest line a lot sooner than this. So, the reason why I'm doing it now is, well, you'll see a little bit later. Oh, wow, a lot of affinity between Shulk and Melia. I really hope we get a level up with them in affinity pretty soon, because they are still yellow, and last time I checked the chart. We get the broken pendant. And because we're in Colony 9, you know what that means? We gotta go to the Weapon Development Lab. That is where we are always headed to every time we are ever in Colony 9, no exceptions. Okay, well, not really. Close to it, at least. South of the Weapon Development Lab is where the quest marker is. So, how about we head in here and talk to this shady guy named Dean in the dark alley? Wow, you got a big nose, sir. Then again, I'm not really one to talk. I have a huge nose. You know you can always count on me, Shulk. Tell me what's wrong. Why didn't you just tell him what was wrong? Why do I need to talk to him again? If I got something to ask, I need you to fix a pendant that a boy named Rocco broke. I usually just tell people to sort out their own problems. But I suppose he's just a kid. Okay, I'll take a look at it. And you were actually depending on this guy, Shulk, really? Alright, so he'll fix it for us. And, of course, we can't see him fixing it. Here, good as new. Rocco, that name sounds familiar. Isn't he Sonia's little boy? Yeah, that's him. Make sure you say that it was me who fixed it. That's all the thanks I need. To me, sounds like someone's trying to get in good with somebody's mother. Hello there, Rocco, old buddy, old pal, old friend who also lives in my Animal Crossing town. Yes, the pendant is just like before. It was Dean who fixed it. And this Dean guy must be pretty awesome. When I grow up, I want to be able to fix things just like him. I hope I might meet him so I can thank him properly. Anyway, thank you. We get our not-so-great rewards, but, upon completing that... Oh, wait, what did that say? Did I just say... Was that just the location, or was that an achievement? I'm gonna need to slow that down. But after we complete that, we want to go back and see Dean right away, because this whole mess sounds kind of, well, strange, putting it quite bluntly.
Hi there.
Hello again, Dean. You have a quest for us. It's you again, even though Charlotte wasn't a part of this last time. And yeah, you fixed that pendant for us. Well, I need to call in that favor. I'm sure you know what this is about. I'm here to listen. Well, let's see where this is going. How should I put this? Basically, I want to have a date. I mean, dinner with Sonia. I'm too embarrassed to ask her myself after all these years. Surely you can help me out after I fix the pendant for you. This might sound rude, but isn't it a bit sad getting us to ask her? Oh, how odd. You remind me of Sonia. Have we met before? Not interested, mister. Get back to why we're here. Oh my god! Please, you're mistaken. I never meant it like that. Or, sure you didn't. Sure you didn't. Back to the topic at hand. Will you help me? Well, sounds like we don't have a choice because it just popped up. We get a lock-on resist gem for this. I guess that's kind of useful because lock-on is a bit of an interesting status. It's kind of odd when you think about lock-on, like what it is in other games. It's like, what, the enemy has a certain % chance of successfully pressing the L button on me, but no, that's not what it means. If you recall, Sonia is south of the Aetherlight in the commercial district. In fact, she was our very first friend. I don't forget these things. She was the first one we talked to in Colony 9, and we got the achievement, your first friend, from her. So yeah, he does want to go to dinner with you. To be honest, I'd love to say yes, but the problem is the kids. I can barely find time for myself because they squabble constantly. Such a silly argument as well. It's all because of a Shin Gecko. Shin Geckos are rare, you see. Then before I knew it, they started arguing over who spotted it first. And while the argument raged on, the Shin Gecko ran off scared. Maybe if they could each have one as a pet, they'd calm down a bit. Then I'd be free, then I'd be happy, then I'd feel happy inviting Dean over for dinner. Alright, so we need to go find 2 Shin Geckos if I'm not mistaken, unless she has more kids than that. No, we need 2 of them. They are collectibles in Tefra Cave. However, luckily for us, because we have 3-star affinity with Colony 9, we can do this really easily. We don't have to go hunting for any kind of rare collectible by stumbling around Tefra Cave or any of that crap. We can just trade for it straight away. Okay. Hello there again, Sonia. We got you some geckos. Who knew that geckos would be the key to getting a date in this world? Colony 9 sure is a strange place. Now they should stop fighting. Thank you so much for your help. Good, it was our pleasure. We performed our task admirably. Now, about this date of mine. Could you go and tell Dean that any time is fine for me? Ooh, I'm getting all excited. Well, sounds like, all I can say is, man, Dean, I wish I had your luck in high school, because, man, no girls ever returned my feelings back then. I don't know if I want to be admitting that.
Hi there.
Oi there! I'm sorry, these clips are just so great. Yes, have your lovely evening with Sonia. I'll have to hurry if I want to get ready and not be late. Dude, it's only like noon. How much time do you spend getting ready? Well, then again, I guess not everyone can be done bang where they always look perfect all the time. A date with Sonia at last. Well, that was the quickest dinner I've ever had. Yeah, considering it's still noon, that is pretty dang quick. It was like a negative amount of time. Went sorta well, but I can't say it was a major success. Still, she invited me round to her house next time, even if it's only as a babysitter. But I'm not gonna give up. I'll take every chance I can get. Pushy. We've completed Dean's shady request. Get our gem. And not only that, but there is a third quest in this line. Of all places, you'll find it in front of Dunban's house with Liliana. At least I think that's how you pronounce it. If it was you who went and helped out that man for Rocco, wasn't it? Well, now I need a favor. It's for my mom. Now that she's dating that geeky man, I'm worried about her. I think she's forgetting Dad. You look troubled. Is something worrying you? So Liliana is Sonia's other kid, the one that was arguing over the gecko. Before Dad died, he told me this. If Mom is ever in trouble, look in the little cave in Angora Shore. Dad must have left something important in that cave. I know it. You have to find it or else Mom will forget all about Dad. So please, could you search for whatever my dad left in that cave? If you remember the people you've lost, they never really leave you. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'll never forget him. But I really want Mom to never forget him as well, so please. Liliana's sincere request. We need to go over to Angora Shore in Colony 9 and, I mean, that is a real issue, and it's nice to see it getting represented here. I knew kids that had their mom pass away, and they were worried about their dad forgetting their mom when their dad started dating other women years later. I mean, that is something kids go through, and I'm happy to help, but we have to go to Angora Shore for this. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm whining, but that's a really long distance. You gotta really swim for that. So I'll see you in about 10 more minutes of swimming, and yes, this is that same selfish area from the first time we were in Colony 9. I really wanted to play as Charlotte for this. This is kind of her quest, and wow, that Armu really liked running along with us. But I really hate to say it, she just doesn't do that much damage, and the fight's gonna drag on forever if I'm playing as her. Plus, on top of that, it just... I don't know, I don't like playing as Charlotte. It's just that I don't feel like I'm really contributing a lot of stuff half the time, because your party just doesn't always need healing. And on top of that, you're having to just stay away from the enemies, you know, at a good range to be able to fight effectively with her. So I don't know, I just don't really feel as into the gameplay if I am playing as her. Anyway, you saw there was a red item orb over there, behind this gentle Rodriguez. Technically, this is not a required fight, but in the situation, I think I want to take him out anyway. What I mean by this not being a required fight is, should you have an Earth Cloak gem, that makes it tougher for grounded enemies to see you. If you equip enough of those, you can get close enough to him to pick up the red item orb and have him not notice you. It's a little bit of a crapshoot, and I don't personally use those except in a few situations, but it is something that I wanted to let you know that you can do nonetheless. And wow, we are really not doing all that much damage to this guy. Dunban, draw the aggro, please. Thank you. Right on cue. I just have to ask him, and he doesn't. I almost said I ask and I shall receive, though, but I guess I'm not really receiving so much as I am just getting out of trouble. All right, let's do that. Backslash, come on. Oh no! Whoa! That was okay. Frogs have really freaking creepy faces, and seeing it like up there in the camera when you're not expecting it, that is creepy. Dunban's got the aggro good. Let's go for backslash, and the aggro off of me so I can do a chain attack. Please turn around. Thank you. Thank you for doing what you're told. I like that when monsters do what they're told. Doesn't happen often, especially with my luck. All right, Worldly Slash. Charlotte finally has a red art with headshot. Even though it's not dazed, it should still do a lot. There we go. Oh, another attack. Okay, I'm gonna say Monado Buster because Charlotte doesn't have another red art just in case it goes around that much. Boom! Yes! Ooh, Charlotte's got a purple art. We'll go for that. Oh, man! Go for it! Oh, I missed it! Damn it! I could have gotten like 100,000 damage or more if I did that right. Let's get it. Wow! Oh, that was a cool fight. Oh! Sorry if I'm like just having trouble. I got a laughing Brogbeg. Does it laugh at you or does like it squeak? I don't know. Let's grab this red item orb. Message in a bottle. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of reeling from that. That was a cool fight. I got to do a lot of damage with Charlotte, and that's not something that you often get to see because she has the lowest damage of any character. She worked into my strategy really well, and had I gotten off another attack, that would have been crazy damage, even crazier than it already was. Let's set the time back so we can see Liliana. Yeah, it's 4 p.m. in game right now, which is crazy. It just shows how long that took. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we found it, but you don't have the quest marker on you. A recipe for cabbage parcels? It's not what I imagined it to be, but I know it'll remind her of Dad. Could you show it to Mum for me? Interesting thing to leave your family. Then again, I don't know what their personal life was. Maybe they met over a plate of cabbage parcel. I don't know. I'm saying I don't know a lot. Let's just talk to Sonia and give her this. Can I help you with something? Hold on, this is the recipe I gave my husband before we married. This takes me back. I remember the very day I gave it to him. He said he wanted to eat my cabbage parcels every day. So I went ahead and wrote down the recipe and gave it to him. That way he could make it himself anytime he liked. I said, like, wow. He looked at me, dropped on one knee, took my hand and said, I'm proposing to you, you silly nincompoop. That's sweet. Cabbage parcels were his way of saying he wanted to marry me. When he finished talking, I just burst out laughing. I see why Liliana's been worried recently, but I'll never forget him. But for my own child to do this makes me feel like a bad parent. Thank you for telling me about it. I should have realized this sooner. Did it remind her of Dad? Yay, you're the best! I'm glad everything worked out. Me too, a resounding success. Thanks, I mean, thank you very much. Now we can get back to being a family again. We're all done with Liliana's sincere request. We get swimming oil, which is actually surprisingly weak equipment for there being a level 40 monster guarding all that stuff. Now, we actually don't quite have 4.5 stars with Colony 9. I thought we would by this point, but we don't. So to top us off, rather than doing more quests, I think I just want to go around and talk to various NPCs that we've helped out before in Colony 9, and see if they have any of that free affinity for us, because after completing some quests, you will get some affinity by just talking to those characters again. So, you want to know something hilarious? That one little star that I got from Francois, that was all I needed. That is how close I was to meeting the requirement for what I wanted to do. Now, before we move on, a little bit of explanation here. Desirée is our quest holder, but she doesn't have an icon over her head. She will if you have 4.5 stars with Colony 9, and if you've talked to her at least once since finishing up at Colony 6. We have not talked to her yet. The conversation that you'll have with her is interesting. And I didn't want to show it until now, just in case you hadn't figured out a certain plot point on your own by that point. I didn't want to be the one to spoil something for you. A lot of you were yelling at me in the comments to come and see her. I knew what she was going to say, I just didn't want to show it until now. You'll see what I mean in a moment.
Hello.
If you don't mind listening, I'd like to get some things off my chest. Do you remember my father at all? He used to swing a hammer above his head all day, every day. He used to build and fix machines, and he was really good at it too. He ran his own place, Zord's Smithy, he called it. The best one in the entire colony, everyone said it. But he died a year ago in that battle with the Mechon. And I couldn't even keep his shop open, I had to close it down. That's why it's vital that I at least find something to do with my life. You know, talking about it made me feel a lot better. I'll think it all over some more. Shulk, you've been doing a lot of good deeds lately. The helpless and the hopeless alike. You fixed their problems. I'm not exactly that desperate, but I am a bit lost at the moment. It's been a year now. I need to decide what I'm doing with my life. That doesn't sound good. Shulk, you are an ass! I need to decide what I'm gonna do with my life. That doesn't sound good. What? That a big... Ricky! I am so confused. It's really been getting me to me recently. Can I ask you to rest? Oh my god, this is supposed to be so serious, but that just made it funny. I'm sorry. I know you're bad with machines, but you can do other things. You don't need to worry. It's not just about money. I sold my dad's shop, and that's left me in an okay situation for now. Wait, that's not what I wanted to talk about. Come on, Shulk, listen to me. Desiree's future. Since her father, who is proficient with machines, passed away, Desirée has been worried about a future all alone. Why not try to offer some advice? We have to listen to her very long story. Okay, well, just as long, though, but I know it's very long. This could be a bit of a long chat, so bear that in mind. This is one of my favorite little details. There is no required cutscene that will tell you who Zord is. This is the only place that you can find that, and after completing Prison Island and learning that Homs are indeed piloting the Mechon, that is something that might cross your mind, wondering who Zord was. Well, it doesn't ever get brought up again. It's not exactly a plot-relevant detail, but all the signs point to it if you talk to Desirée here, as he was lost in a battle with Mechon. There was the fact that he carried over a little bit of memory from what he was as a Homs. It's really cool. And it's something that you might have met Desirée already and be surprised to learn it. You might not have ever met her or even talked to her and never learned this and been none the wiser about it. It's just a really cool little detail, and I like things like this. It's really nice to see that attention to detail. But Desirée here, she wants us to choose her career path for her, and she's like, well, next time we chat, I'll tell you the details. Well, we can just talk to her like 1 second later and she won't even care. I don't get what the point is. So she's considering the Defense Force. Don't tell me your first thought is her, a soldier? No way. Well, think again. Oh, I'm actually a really good shot. The lieutenant even told me I'd be an expert if I signed up. There's some drawbacks. 1, fighting is really dangerous. Fine, that one's a bit obvious. 2, I'm very bad with machines. What if it turns out I can't service my gun properly? I won't even be able to train. But if it works out, I could do alright for myself. Pay is good, and I think I'd enjoy the lifestyle. There are definitely some good arguments on both sides. Do you mind if I think it over? What do you mean both sides? She hasn't even told you the other option yet. In fact, let's talk to her again and find out what that is. Okay, so her other option is being a sculptor. Don't laugh. I've gotten budding interest in it. I've carved a pendant out of wood. I wouldn't say I'm that good yet, but it's so much fun. I could become Kenny Rowan's pupil and learn properly. Seems like everybody wants to be Kenny Rowan's assistant these days. I mean, we helped out somebody else who had that exact same problem. Doesn't pay well at all. 2, it's not exactly the most social of activities. I'd probably have nobody to talk to all day but my own sculptures. Possibly not the best career path if I'm trying to land a man, but I do enjoy it a lot. I'm glad everything worked out. Do you mind? I know my explanation is a bit long-winded and annoying, but that's just because it matters so much to me. Let's take a deep breath and carry on. I'm nearly finished. Well, that's good, because this is going on for quite a while. No, do not walk away, do not walk away. Realistically, I'm sure I'd be able to do either job. I have an innate ability for one and a keen interest in the other. I guess there's no wrong answer, they'll both have ups and downs, but that's exactly why it's so hard to decide. You pick for me instead. Me? But it's your life we're talking about, your entire life! Oh, Shulk, do you not see why she wants you to choose things about her entire life? Okay. Won't have any regrets. Whatever you decide, I'll do it and never look back. But there's no hurry. I'll wait until you've thought about it properly. We don't need to keep interrupting like this. I just want to talk with you. So we can choose what we want her to be. If you choose a sculptor, I think she's personally happier, but you're going to lose affinity with Colony 9 eventually should you go down this path, which is why I want to go with Soldier. I said that I would go with affinity above all else, and so I shall. You think I'd make a good soldier? It would feel nice to be able to protect people. Maybe I'll even find a nice soldier boy. That's the part's just between us. Becoming a soldier could set me up for life. Good idea. You're welcome, but I don't think I actually did anything. Oh, stop being so pessimistic. You gave me the push I needed. Now I sort of wish I hadn't. What if it all goes wrong? You worry too much, Shulk. I'll be fine, I guarantee. I never realized before, but you're pessimistic as well sometimes. I think it's nice in a way. It shows how kind and caring you are. But most of the time, it's still better to be confident in yourself. You're right. But you should remember to take your own advice, Desirée. True. I really have to do my best in my new career. Otherwise, I'll be eroding your self-confidence as well as mine. That's all the motivation I need, so thanks for everything. And that is it! We get swept gear, swept gauntlets, and sweat boots for that. And also, not only that, Shulk's Pessimism skill branch has been unlocked. This is something you could have played through all of Xenoblade Chronicles without ever knowing existed. There is actually, if I may show it, Shulk has a 4th skill tree, and 5 new skills to go along with it. You would have never unlocked this had you not gotten 4.5 stars with Colony 9 and done that quest for Desirée sitting through that very long conversation. We will get more ether defense should we equip this by 5 points. And as for skills, these are amazing. Any unlockable skill tree is going to have some really cool skills. Let's see. Fight the Future extends the time before a vision becomes a reality, so you get more time to react if there's something dangerous that's going to happen. Stealth Warrior reduces aggro drawn from using arts. That is incredible for Shulk. 10% less aggro from his arts? Are you for real? Epic Evasion. Increase a chance of burst affinity after evasion by 5%. Really cool. Forced Mercy. Reduces aggro when damage is taken. Again, 25%. That is great for Shulk, considering he doesn't have much HP. Immunization. Grants immunity to debuffs that reduce stats. Yeah. So, Shulk basically became 10 times as powerful twice in the span of 3 episodes. Shulk, slow down, man. At this rate, you might be half as cool as Dunban soon. Okay, now, Shulk is a pretty good character. I'm not gonna knock him. Oh, did not mean to go into the map quite yet. I almost forgot. While we were in skill trees, I checked over some of the other characters, and I meant to show that Ryan is maxed out Enthusiasm, so I want to switch him over to Diligence. That'll improve Agility by 2. Not really the best, though, but if I'm trying to make Ryan more offensive than defensive now, I suppose it is a better move. Charlotte maxed out Devotion, so we're going to move over to Perseverance, which is physical defense. Personally, I think improving Strength might be the better way to go, as it improves it by 10, but I'm not going to really be using her in a whole lot of fights coming up, so I just kind of wanted to earn SP for this so I can work on it right now. Nobody else has maxed out their skill tree, so that just about does it. Now, are we all done here in Colony 9? Well, yes and no. Thing is, by choosing Desiree's career path, more quests are triggered, but it requires a lot more affinity, and I just really wanted to get Shulk's new skill tree. On top of that, I think it'd be a little bit more realistic if we just kind of checked in with her occasionally, because she did just make a major decision in her life. We'll see how being a soldier affected her later. So we are done here for now. I am personally done here for now, I should say, but there is technically more that you could be doing, but there's no quests in Colony 9 that I want to take care of, and I didn't want to wait for us to have more affinity to get Shulk's 4th skill tree. In case you haven't been looking at where I already skip traveled to, I wanted to go to the refugee camp as our last stop in this video because there is a heart-to-heart here that we can view now that we've built affinity with the party members across doing a bunch of quests. This heart-to-heart here can be viewed if we have Ryan and Dunban at green affinity, can be viewed anytime, so how about we switch up the party and we see just what this is all about. It is Heir to the Monado. Let the shackles be released! Who can hear that without even thinking of that? Seriously, way too iconic. And I like this one already. Something up, Dunban? Losing your home. It is a painful experience and not lightly forgotten. People of Colony 6 have had a rough time of it. Exactly. And we could have lost our homes to the Mechon just as easily. If it wasn't for Shulk. Indeed. Shulk taking the Monado in hand was a decisive movement. If he hadn't done that, we would probably have lost everything. It's a miracle that the Monado was in the colony at all. If it hadn't been, our homes would have no doubt been piles of rubble now. Just like Colony 6. When I think of those walking piles of scrap ruining our homes, gah, makes my blood boil. I find it hard to imagine living here in such danger as Charlotte did. Hope kept her going. Hope. That is a rare thing amongst us Homs of late. Charlotte has looked after that camp, waiting for Gatto to return. That's what kept her going. The hope of rebuilding the colony together with him. You may be right. Sounds like you know a lot about Charlotte. She's strong, that woman. Stronger than I'll ever be. She's more fragile than she looks. It doesn't take much to break her will. But you could be the one to pick her back up again. What? Me? Now you're just talking crazy, Dunban! I just have a feeling about you. Just keep that thought in mind. Changing the subject. Why don't you help out with Colony 6's reconstruction? They could do with a helping hand from a genuine hero. When you put it that way, how can I refuse? Let's get to it, Ryan. That sounds like a good idea. Next time on Xenoblade Chronicles. We're going to be doing just that, heading to Colony 6 and aiding in the reconstruction, seeing what we can do for the colony and what kinds of rewards we can get for doing so. See you guys then. The mental image this gives me is Shulk with a great big beaming smile across his face, wielding a Monado in one hand, holding up Ryan like a shield off of the ground in his other hand, all while piggybacking on Dunban.